Welcome to Trains Around Scotland for March 2023. Wasting no time, let's get right into the action. The month could have perhaps maybe started in some better lighting conditions at Gairloch Head, with Colas's 37116 leading a UTU test train on 3Q34 the 2043 Fortwilliam to Shields Junction, seen here at around 0016. Balloch now at around 0130 with 37116 running around 40 minutes early. However, this picture makes it look quite nice. However, in reality, this was the conditions. Finally, a bit of light could be found at Westerton station. After a reversal at Mulgai, the same train is sound here at 0246. The train was supposed to be testing the Paisley Canal branch, but after an early turn at Springburn, the train went back to Slateford depot. Nonetheless, so this day would also mark the first day of the Ayrshire diverts due to the Carstairs engineer works. This is Hillington West with 6X77, Dagenham to Mossen loaded car and van train with 66067, passing at around 0443. On the 6 now, more Ayrshire diverts, and sneaking up on me would first be 4M27, the delayed 0540 Mossend to Daventry with 66126, passing at around 0830. Howard Station itself now invites the usual Class 56s caught up in log duties in the south. The Presswick will see some unusual traction in the form of a Class 70 on 6R46 Grangemouth to Presswick loaded aviation with 7812. Later that night, 7812 would work the southbound Dalston tanks and would then bring them back north on the 7th. The working would be 6S36 Dalston Oil to Grangemouth Inverness, passing Howard again at 1253. Paisley-Gilmer Street now that same night for some diverted intermodals, with the first being for S38, the 1933 Seaforth to Mossend modal with 66116. To Johnson now for 4S44, the 2101 Daventry to Mossend with 66425. Soon to follow would be 4M30, the 2128 Grangemouth to Daventry with 66015. Finally that night would be 4M48, the 2215 Mossend to Daventry Tesco Express with 68004. Over to the east coast now on the 8th for 4 Echo 96, the 1039 Mossend to Tees Docks with the newly repainted 66007. Mid-Calder Junction next for the first class 56 to go on the Carstairs Engineer Works with 56113 working 6K20, the 1344 Lanark Junction to Millerhill. Everything would go pear-shaped on the 9th down the Ayrshire Coast, where we find Colas's 7812 again on 6R46. However, it is not booked to stop at this signal. It should normally be doing track speed through here, but due to a signalling fault at Barassi, everything was brought to a stop while the fault was rectified. Moving down the line of it, we would then find 66425 again, working an incredibly delayed 4S49. This train is booked to pass here at Perstwick Airport at around 5 AM in the morning, but here it is still sitting at 0900. After the fault was fixed, 66425 then got its 1,000 ton load underway at around 0925. soon to be followed by 6R46 stopping to pick up a crew member to do the run round at Ayr. Tenth of March now, and it seems that Mother Nature has forgotten that it's springtime, with a small blanket of snow covering the West Coast main line at Rutherglen, where we see 8K66, the 1227 Polmadie to Rutherglen, with 66569 bringing the Alstom electrification train that had been getting serviced at Polmadie. By far one of the worst cases of bolage I've had in a while at Hillington West on the 10, for unfortunately such a good looking train and some nice lighting with the return of the Clitheroe to Mossen cement contracts, the 66734 and 10 GPA cement wagons working 6Z03 Carlisle to Mossen PD Stirling, seen at around 1358. After that failure, it would then be time for 4S43, the 1436 Daventry to Mossend Tesco Express, with the return of 68004. The day after, determined to rectify from yesterday's failure, it would be off to the Glasgow South Western route at Luckton, first for 2S38, the 1504 Carlisle to Glasgow Central with 221 107 and 105. Then would be the return of the cement, now 4MO1, the 1543 Mossen PD Stirling to Carlisle N.Y, with the return of 66734, seen here at Dunlop Station. Then finally Luckton again for the return of 221 105 and 107, now 2S100 the 1614 Glasgow Central to Carlisle. Paisley Gilmer Street now on the 12 for what was supposed to be 6K34, but 66551 developed an issue coming out of Lanark Junction and had to be sent to Mossend, where 66561 would then be put on the front, and now 6Z34 the 1215 Mossend to Carlisle Engineers, passing Paisley around 1345. It was that time of the month on the 13th for the Class 318 refurbishment drags, and with it being a relatively wet and windy day, it was to Kilmarnock for a bit of shelter, where we see 37884 bringing out 318269 from the works. On 5Q06, the 0903 Kilmarnock Bonnyton Depot to Yoker CS. With the wind really starting to show down the end of the platform, we would see 37884 begin the works on the run round. Then the wind getting that bad that it started to shake the tripod, then departure at 0940. To Polmont that same day for the Statesman's Lord of the Isles tour on its return back down south, working 1Z60, the 1231 Inverness to Rugby with 47805 leading 614. Then returning to Johnson that same day for 4S43, the 1436 Daventry to Mossend with 66430 leading 68017. Finally, the return of the Class 318 refurbishment drags, now 5Q08, the 1504 Yoker CS to Kilmarnock Bonnyton Depot with 37884 now taking 318261 for refurb. To Howard Station on the 18th for the Castle Cement train again, with the northbound working 6Z03 Clitheroe to Mossen loaded cement train, with the return of 66734. Then to Arddock near Cardross for the Blue Pullman's first tour of the year to Scotland, with the West Highland Pullman Tour running 1Z39 1436 Finsbury Park to Fortwilliam, with 43047 leading 046. "19th of March now, and it's back into the Howwood Fields for the continuation of the look at the West Coast Main Line diversions, and it's now a look at some Sunday only freight, with the first being 4M82, the 1519 Mossend to Daventry with 66424. Soon to be followed by 4M48, the 1543 Mossend Euro Terminal to Daventry with 66426 leading 112. The 21st of March now, and to Kilmarnock for a rather unusual move, being 6Z10, the 1710 Carlisle Kingmoor to Kilmarnock Bonnyton Depot with 66126 bringing two FNA Flass wagons for works. A rather nice morning on the 22nd, and the return to Howwood Field, where we would see 4M01 the 0748 Mossen PD Stirling to Clitheroe with 66734 yet again. The morning of the 23rd now, and it's a busy morning to be had at Howwood Station. For first 6K04, the early 0725 passed at 0620 Carlisle N.Y to Lanark Junction, with a somewhat rare sighting of a Class 68 on engineers, being 68002. Then was 4M27, the 0631 Mossend to Daventry with 68016. Johnson now at 0820 for an even earlier 6K10, 0946 Carlisle N.Y to Lanark Junction with 70812, seen slowing down for Eldersley Loops. Then after sitting in Elderslie loops for around 15 minutes, 6K10 then departed onwards at around 0900. Then finally that day, running around 81 minutes late, would be 4M25, the 0600 Mossend to Daventry with 66,185 in charge. 26 now, and it's the day of the SRPS Railtour, being 1Z37, the 0815 Linlithgow to Inverness, with West Coast 37676 leading 37403, seen here first at Park Farm. Then seen here again at Bow Fife just outside Ladybank at 0926. Then finally seen that East Camperdown Street on the climb out of Dundee at 10:03. '27th now, and it's off to Motherwell for the test run of the Royal Scotsman ahead of the start of the 2023 season, with 66,734 again seen working 5Z91 the 1556 Millerhill to Hamilton. Cardross now on the 30th for the start of another rail tour that runs throughout the year in Scotland, being the Jacobite with 5Z49, the 1226 Carnforth to Tomnafair Depot, with a triple header with 47,245 leading 45,407 and 44,871. Then at Craigyendoran, 47,245 runs around to the back of the Consus, and the Kettles take on water because they then lead the train up the Highlands, seen here one last time at Ardencapel level crossing on the climb out of Helensburgh. So far we have taken a massive look at the West Coast Main Line diverted freight, so now it's time to look at the East Coast at Slateford that same day, with first the diverted 4M11 1911 Coatbridge to Crewe with 66543. Then would be 4S57, the 2032 Hamshall to Mossend Euro Terminal with 66726. Then followed by 4S38, the Seaforth to Mossen. This is actually going the wrong way for Mossen, but due to Carstairs East Junction reopening not long before this, the flow now comes up the West Coast Main Line and to Millerhill, where it then runs round and heads back to Mossen via Shotts. Then would be 4L81, the 2051 Coatbridge to London Gateway with 66568. That night we see some rather unusual traction on the Caledonian Sleeper in the form of the Aberdeen portion of the Sleeper with 73971 and 73961 on 1B16, the 2237 to Edinburgh, seen here departing Kirkcaldy. Then seen here one last time at North Queensferry at around 23:14. The last day of the month in another chase of 37403. This time the GBRF Charity Railtours partnered with the Branchline Society on 1Z35, the return leg of the Inverness to Falkirk Grahamson, seen here at Glen Eagles. Then with Stirling Castle and the view in the background, this was once again at Plain with the same tour passing at 1640. Then after terminating at Falkirk Grahamson, this is now Polmont with 5Z36, the 1744 from Falkirk to Bo'ness Junction Exchange, seen here stopping to drop off crew.